Baby Steps, the audio description movie, will run 103 minutes. Produced by Hope of Vision Association. Authorized by Tom Moon International Productions. Main characters: Danny and Ted, they are a gay couple. Mrs. Lee, she is Danny's mother, and Mickey play as Mrs. Lee's maid. The audio description of Baby Steps shall begin now.
A plate of pomegranates rests on an altar below a deity, in front of which an older woman, Mrs. Lee, lights incense and prays. Along the wall are several old photographs of her late husband in uniform. In a room in Los Angeles, full of open windows, a man, Tate, paints a portrait of himself with another man. He pauses for a moment, looking outside with a faint smile. A plane flies through the sky. The other man from the painting, Danny, is riding in a taxi in Taipei, daydreaming about playing with a son of his own. Around Taipei, children go to school, crowds move through a subway station, and a train rides off. A Taiwanese flag flies in front of a popular breakfast spot. The sun rises over Taipei landmarks, the Red House, Liberty Square, and Taipei 101. Barney Cheng presents Baby Steps. Danny, with his brother Gary, browses a website for hiring surrogate mothers.
She's smart, well-educated, and very attractive.
Attractive? She's fat.
You're crazy, Gary.
No, Danny. You're crazy. Can't believe you are doing this.
Later on, the brothers are at an LGBT parade at Liberty Square, cheering wildly. Members of the crowd hoist signs saying love. A group holds up a huge rainbow flag, and others carry big colorful balloons. Miss Lee passes in front of the parade at a different section, appearing highly uncomfortable. A man clad in leather steps in front of her, handing her a flag.
Please support LGBT equality!
She hurries past frightened. People in the parade cheer as streamers shoot in the air. In quiet LA, Tate brushes off his now finished work and holds it up admiringly. A white cake sits on a table with a baby figurine on top. Danny enters the dining room with finely dressed people.
Hi, Auntie Chen. So sorry I'm late.
Welcome to my grandson's banquet.
Danny takes the baby in his arm.
He's so cute.
Miss Lee looks at them in distress. Danny walks around the table to sit by her as she proposes,
"Let's make a toast to their healthy, beautiful baby."
Everyone raises their glasses in congratulations.
People say there are 3 major joys in life. First is getting married, second is giving birth, and third is holding a grandchild in your arms.
Of all our classmates, you're number 1. You have the most grandchildren.
Where's the photographer? My cute grandson needs more pictures.
As her family takes a picture, Danny looks at Mrs. Lee, his mother, as she watches Auntie Chang's family lovingly. His own face falls, but a woman next to him starts telling him,
"When you were 1 month old, we were all invited to your banquet. Your mom was so happy. How time flies. When are you inviting us to your wedding banquet?"
Well, I already have a boy.
He's got tons of girlfriends, but he's too picky, finds faults in every girl he dates.
They exchange a cold glance.
"Danny, hurry up and get married. If not for yourself, for your mom. She's been waiting a long time for a grandchild."
Enough about him. Let's make another toast to Wei Wei and Hua Hua.
She raises her glass, but both her and her son look downcast. At home later, Mrs. Lee yells at Gary as Danny packs his suitcase nearby.
You're born with intelligence and excellent genes, have a good education. No one from her family went to college. She failed her college entrance exam. It would be horrible if my grandchildren inherited their genes. I want my...
I understand, okay? But you have to respect my choice. You are not the one marrying Cindy.
What? You're thinking of marrying her?
She turns to Danny, but he has left the room in annoyance. Walking through the train station, Danny stops to wave at a girl sitting across the hall. She waves back to him, saying to her friends,
"My boss' son."
Danny arrives in Los Angeles. He's woken up by gentle kisses from Tate, the man painting before. Good morning. They turn and gaze lovingly into each other's eyes.
Hi. It's good to be home. Close your eyes.
He smiles and leans over to the side of the bed, taking out a gift-wrapped rectangular parcel.
Okay. Open. Happy anniversary.
Oh my god. Danny holds it, looking it over with surprise. They rip open the paper together to reveal the painting Tate finished earlier.
Casa Little Tuscany. Our first trip together. Sweetie, I love it. I'm so sorry. I totally lost track of time. This trip was so crazy, and I just...
Danny puts down the painting and slides out of bed as Tate looks around disappointedly. Outside later, Danny's on his iPad drinking coffee when Tate comes out. He spots an easel adorned with a bow on the patio.
You're always here. I thought, why don't you just paint here? Make this your workspace.
Thank you, sweetie.
Happy anniversary.
They kiss and embrace.
Happy anniversary.
And Tate then turns to fiddle with the easel. Mrs. Lee is having a meal with Gary and his disheveled-looking girlfriend, Cindy. Mrs. Lee breaks the silence.
Remember Uncle Wing? His son has a girlfriend now. So I told him she doesn't need to be beautiful. It's more important she's smart. Comes from a good background, knows how to take care of children. A happy family starts there.
Gary acts completely annoyed as Mrs. Lee smugly sips her drink.
I also told him, it's better to marry a plain-looking girl. Preferably chubbier with bigger buttocks. That way, she'll bear more children.
Chubbier with bigger buttocks?
Cindy's upset.
A girlfriend's not a pig, okay?
She bolts up angrily.
Excuse me, I have an errand to run.
She grabs her bag and storms off. Gary goes after her, failing to stop her as Mrs. Lee takes another self-satisfied sip. Turning back to his mother.
Look at what you have done.
How old are you now? Already 30. Why do you keep wasting time?
Wasting time?
Look at her attitude. So rude and disrespectful. She's not at all suitable for our family. You need to think about your future child.
What makes you think we want kids? A lot of people choose not to have kids.
Why have a girlfriend if you don't plan to have kids? You young people are so weird.
He stares at her blankly.
You're perfectly healthy. Why won't you have kids? Danny can't.
She begins crying loudly.
No. He won't have kids. You're our only hope. You're our only hope. Otherwise, that's the end of the Lee family.
Gary fumes.
Mom, let me live my own life, okay? This is why Danny doesn't want you to know. He is having a baby.
She snatches his hand with a look of hope. In Los Angeles, Danny is stuffing Tate's things in a box.
How long is she staying for? Why are you putting my stuff away?
I'm making room for her.
Danny, your mom is not going to go through your bathroom.
Trust me, you don't know her.
He throws him a jacket and picks up a framed photograph of them, trying to put it in a box when Tate grabs it.
Danny, your mom knows you're gay. You don't have to hide this.
I'm not hiding, sweetie. It's complicated.
We should take her out to dinner.
No. Please. Just 1 week, please. Besides, you really need to water your plants. When was the last time you slept in your own apartment?
I know, but I really want to meet your mom, and I can practice my Chinese with her. Yo, Mrs. Lee.
I've heard so much about you. Mrs. Lee, it's so nice to finally meet you.
Still exasperated, Danny continues packing boxes. Later on, Danny carts his mother's luggage through a parking lot.
How come you came alone? Where's your honey?
What are you talking about?
She laughs and loops her arm around his. Their car pulls into Danny's driveway. Miss Lee enters the living room and tosses her bag and coat onto a chair.
So good to be home.
She comes across a painting of two contorted male forms.
That's a weird painting.
And Danny looks away. She then accidentally runs her leg into a table.
This corner is a hazard. What if your baby bumps into it?
She then slams into the back of a couch while trying to sit down.
Are you trying to kill me?
She walks to another chair while Danny tests that couch without issue.
This is much better. Get rid of that couch.
She starts rifling through a box, but Danny takes it.
Ma, would you like to take a bath before dinner? Relax a little?
Okay. When do I get to meet her? How did you meet? I bet she's gorgeous.
As Danny shows her the surrogate mother website, Mrs. Lee stares on, utterly deflated. Looking a little uncertain, he tells her,
She's Chinese-American, 27, 5'5", has one child, graduated from Fullerton College. Or this one, she's from Shanghai, speaks Mandarin, 23, has one boy. The surrogate will also be the egg donor. They will impregnate her with my sperm. Don't worry, the company is highly reputable. They walk you through the entire process. It's quite expensive. But no worries, I'm going to sell some stock and use part of my 401k.
She stares at him uncomprehendingly.
I was joking with Gary. If I charge the expenses on my card, I will earn enough points from 5 round-trip tickets to Taiwan in first class. How about this one?
Her eyes move back to the computer. Realizing her disappointment, Danny looks down.
Ma, I know it's non-traditional, but I don't have a choice. I'm not going to pretend or be with a woman just to have a baby.
She nods teary-eyed.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I don't have a choice either. At least you need to find someone healthy and well-educated with a good family. So I'll have smart, healthy grandchildren. How can you be so flippant about the whole thing?
She bangs her hands on the table and stands up, while Danny looks after her, dejected. They watch a potential surrogate's profile video.
Hi. It's wonderful to be able to help out. I love what I do, and I look forward to meeting you and help make your dreams come true.
Okay, of all the ones we have seen, she's the best. Perfect age, good family, went to a great school. She's healthy, no genetic disorders. She has 3 children, and she's helped a gay couple with their baby daughter.
Unsatisfied, Miss Lee replays one part of the video.
I love what I do. I love what I do. I love what I do.
You don't know her. How do you know she's not lying? What if she's a wacko? Her genes are going to pass down to our family.
Ma, they screen all of their surrogates very carefully.
How do you know?
Because the company is highly reputable. I've read all of their reviews. I've spoken with their former clients.
You think it's that easy? You have no idea what you're doing.
Later on, Danny and his mother go to the grocery store. At home, Mrs. Lee calls the potential surrogate to set up a meeting.
Monday? No. Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
After they meet, Mrs. Lee secretly follows the surrogate's car to her house, entering into a dangerous-seeming area.
What an awful neighborhood.
She suddenly has to slam on the brakes to avoid a dog in the street, and then 2 burly men come up to her window, knocking threateningly. She speeds off, frightened. Spotting the surrogate's car in front of a house, she pulls over in front to check it out. She gets out of her car and walks up to the house. There's stacks of dirty plates on a ledge, a yellowing couch on the lawn, and overflowing trash cans outside. She has to cover her nose from the stench. Looking around the tall wooden gate, she watches a blond boy see her and run inside. Unheeding the "Beware of Dog" sign, Mrs. Lee opens the gate, only to slam it shut immediately before an angry dog jumps at her. She turns around to then see the burly men from before jacking her car and speeding off as she yells futilely to stop them. Danny, in a presentation,
We provide transcription, word processing, and help desk. Our document solutions team from Mumbai is your one-stop shop for all
his
of
mother
your
is calling.
In fact, last week, Anderson Perkins from Century City just became our client.
She's calling him again.
I'm sorry, let me just try this out.
His clients aren't paying any attention whatsoever. Back in LA, Mrs. Lee is emotional on the sidewalk. After the meeting, Danny calls her.
Ma, I'm in San Diego.
Danny's friend Takesha says,
I can't, I'm babysitting. What is she doing in East LA?
Big guy stole my car. You know?
as Mrs. Lee is talking to a police officer, Tate's car pulls up, and he hops out.
I'm Danny's friend.
Relieved, Mrs. Lee gets in his car. On the ride home, Tate tells her,
Don't worry.
but Mrs. Lee is more worried about Tate's speed.
Slow!
Okay. Slow.
They pull into Danny's house.
Mrs. Lee, it's so great to finally meet you.
Wow, your Chinese is excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, my English is not good.
No, seriously, your English is quite good.
Thank you.
Oh.
Mrs. Lee goes to unlock the door, but Tate surprises her with having his own key. She looks at him confused. They enter the apartment.
How long did you learn Chinese?
Oh, I studied in college, and then I also practiced with the Lin family.
Lin family, are they from Taiwan?
Yeah.
Maybe I know them.
No, they're second generation Taiwanese-American. They're family.
Oh.
Tate goes to the kitchen, while Mrs. Lee pours herself a glass of water and watches him suspiciously. Tate, returning with the jugs of juice in his hands, runs into her, and she spills the water on his shirt.
Oh! Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I take
It's okay. No. I'll get it. It's okay.
He walks her over to the living room and has her sit down, as she confusedly says,
This is my house.
Mrs. Lee, would you like some tea?
No, thank you.
Are you hungry?
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
I sure everything, no, thank you.
I'm just gonna get a towel.
Oh, okay.
She continues to look after him, suspiciously. Later on, they sit drinking tea.
So, San Diego's about 2 hours away. Danny should be home soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how long do you know Danny? How did you meet? Are you also
Gay? Yes. Yes. I'm Tate. Tate.
Realizing she's never heard of him, Tate looks down sadly.
Oh. Danny and I are close friends.
Yeah, you're a good friend. I'm very happy Danny is a good friend like you.
Mm.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm an illustrator.
Tate walks over as Danny walks in.
Danny and I, we love this piece. It represents the balance between strength and grace.
Are you okay?
Thank you.
We need to talk.
Tate looks at Danny accusingly, but he lets Danny walk him out.
It's very nice to meet you.
Turning back to his mother, Danny asks,
What happened?
I was grocery shopping.
Grocery shopping? In East LA? You could have walked to Trader Joe's. What were you doing in East LA?
She looks at him defiantly. In a chic modern office, Danny and Mrs. Lee meet with the surrogate.
I spoke with Alan and Mike, and they were just so happy with their baby daughter.
Oh, it was such my pleasure. They were so caring and respectful, and I was just so glad to see them with their baby girl. I can just tell they are going to be amazing daddies. It was great to see you again, Mrs. Lee.
You like Chinese herbs?
Chinese herbs?
Mm-hmm. When I'm pregnant, I eat Chinese herbs. Very important for baby.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I've never had Chinese herbs before, but that's good to know.
Yeah, my mom's a strong believer in Chinese medicine. It's supposed to be really, really great for fertility.
In Taiwan, we have special mushroom in very high mountain, very powerful. Will make my grandson very strong.
Oh.
You must eat every week.
Okay. Thank you.
Your kitchen clean?
Spotless. Perfectly spotless.
什么是 spotless?
Spotless means very clean. The kitchen's very clean.
My family, we love to gather in the kitchen. It's like our favorite room of the house.
Miss Lee angrily stacks her papers.
Ma, where are you going?
I've had enough of her crap. If you want to stay and listen to this nonsense, go right ahead.
Ma, please sit down.
She stomps around the table as the surrogate looks surprised.
Sorry?
No. We're sorry.
Spotless? She's a liar.
What are you talking about, Ma? You're being so rude.
Rude? You should have seen her house. Horrifying.
Oh my god, Mom, that's terrible.
Exactly. This is your best choice? Pathetic.
I'm talking about you. How could you?
I did this for you. You want to have children with someone like her?
You should have at least discussed this with me.
Who has the energy to argue with you?
She slams down her papers and pushes them forcefully across the table. Later at home,
You are intentionally sabotaging my plans.
How can you say that? Having a baby is serious. Once it's here, it can't be returned. I want to do it right.
Please stay out of it. Please stay out of it, okay?
Stay out of it? You can't do this all by yourself.
I'm not a kid, okay? Why do you treat me like I don't know what I'm doing?
Because you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't have excluded me from something that's important.
I have not excluded you. You've never expressed interest in my life. You constantly obsess over Gary and his girlfriend. But you've never once asked me about my boyfriend. Ma, I have not excluded you. You've never cared about me.
Danny turns his back to her.
That is not true.
He sighs deeply, and she tosses down a nap. Resigned, Danny asks her,
What time's your flight tomorrow? I'll cancel my appointments and take you to the airport.
Behind him, Mrs. Lee reaches into her bag and places a call on her cell.
Mr. Chiang? Sorry to bother you. I'm going back to Taiwan tomorrow. Could you take me to the airport?
Danny looks on angrily.
My son? He has no time for me. 2 o'clock. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
They exchange an icy look in silence as she walks out of the room. The next day, Mrs. Lee enters Mr. Chiang's car as Danny comes to say goodbye.
Ma, have a safe flight.
She shuts the door in his face and the car drives off. Danny puts up a hand in farewell, but then lets it crumple. In the car, Mrs. Lee looks seemingly despondent at how she's acted. Danny carries Tate's painting into the living room as Tate follows.
So, when were you planning on telling her about us? And why have you kept this a secret from me the whole time? Look, I just think it's really weird that we've been together for 2 years and your mother knew nothing about me.
Danny sighs and looks at Tate seriously.
I'm sorry. It's not just you. She knows nothing about me. Okay, she could care less about my personal life.
Danny, that is not true. She came all the way here from Taipei.
Yeah, it's because she wants a grandson. What?
Nothing.
Sweetie?
Why do you want a baby so much? Danny, do you know what we'd have to give up to have a baby? No more fabulous Atlantis cruises. No more Runyon Canyon yoga classes on Sunday. You can forget about our annual trips to Monmouth. No more spontaneous wine tasting in Solvang. Gone. Why tie ourselves down like that?
Sweetie, we can do it all and have it all.
No, we can't. Danny, you don't know what it means to be a father.
Tate steps away from him and goes to sit on the couch across from Danny in a chair.
Do you know what it felt like to be 10 years old, alone? Because your parents were never home. What it felt like to have your neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Lin, at your basketball game cheering for you because your parents were too busy with a stupid gallery opening. I don't want to be like my father.
Danny comes over to Tate and strokes the back of his head.
Sweetie, you will be a great dad.
You don't get it.
Tate looks into his face.
I don't want to be a dad. I don't know how to be a dad. And that is not fair to do to a child.
Tate walks out of the room frustrated as Danny sits on the couch, deliberating. Later, Danny looks out over LA from a rocky viewpoint, reflecting on his talk with Tate.
Why do you want a baby so much?
It's like you see her smile. She's so happy and proud. And you wish she never loses that smile.
He is talking with his friend Takesha while visiting her daycare.
Oh my God, your mom's a mess. Spying on the surrogate? How did she get the address? They don't give out that kind of confidential information. It's supposed to be anonymous.
She made an appointment to meet with her, then followed her home.
Brilliant. She's a genius.
Never underestimate the power of Taiwanese mothers.
He says in Chinese to one of the boys at the daycare. As Danny plays with the boys, Takesha finds a promising new surrogate option on her iPad.
How about this one?
Danny checks out her profile video on his laptop at home.
I love being a surrogate mother. It fills my heart with so much joy and love. I'm looking forward to helping you start your own family.
At an LGBT parenting support group, Danny hears a troubling account.
And when we found out we were going to have twins, I mean, you could imagine, we were overjoyed. But then they both came down with Fragile X.
Fragile X?
Fragile X is a genetic syndrome that leads to autism, mental and behavioral retardation. We had no idea that both of our twins would end up with Fragile X.
So now, 6 years later, you're suing the fertility clinic?
Yes.
Later, Takesha and Danny meet up to set up an appointment with the new surrogate candidate.
Yes. I'm calling to confirm my meeting with surrogate number 568. Wednesday? 2:30 p.m.? Perfect. Thank you very much.
Here it is, 1326. She's really, really nice and sweet. I like her a lot.
Danny gets out of the car in front of the surrogate's house. As he walks over, he looks around appreciatively at the appealing neighborhood. Suddenly, a shirtless man bursts out of the house, being chased by a raging woman with a wailing baby in her arms. The man hops in a red pickup truck and nearly hits Danny as he speeds off.
Fuck yourself! Do you hear me, douchebag? Yeah, drive away, pussy! Eat shit! Piece of shit! What are you looking at?
The woman turns to Danny as her baby cries loudly. Danny runs back to his car and drives away. Back at his house, Danny is playing a slow song on piano and gazing at a photo of his parents. His mind flashes back to his childhood, to a memory of tenderly joining his mother in quiet mourning for his father's death. Back in the present, Danny pulls out his phone and dials his mother. Getting her voicemail, Danny says,
Ma, happy birthday.
生日快乐.
He puts down the phone, saddened, but then brings it back up.
Ma, I'm sorry. You were right.
还是你说的对.
He hangs up the phone. On Valentine's Day, Danny and Tate are eating dinner at a seaside restaurant. Tate reaches for Danny's hand. He looks at Danny with a somber expression.
I was always a mild annoyance to my folks, always in their way, and that was the worst feeling in the world, to feel in someone's way. I know this is important to you. I don't wish to be in your way.
Having a baby is important to me. And so are you. But you were right. I can't possibly have it all. Tate, I've been so incredibly selfish. It's not fair to you. It's not fair for the child.
Tate looks emotionally conflicted. Danny arrives at a fertility clinic, is given a sample cup, and is led to a room.
We're just gonna go right here. Good thing about these magazines, they never go out of style. Here you go, fill it up. Enjoy.
He enters the room hesitantly, before meeting eyes with a portrait of a Mona Lisa. A "Please wash your hands" sign is next to the door. He uncertainly sits down and puts the cup on the counter. He first puts food flakes in the goldfish bowl on the table. Pulling open a magazine that features a seductive female picture, he puts on hand sanitizer, opens his pants, and begins pleasuring himself. Stopping abruptly, he leans out the door.
That was quick.
I need to get my laptop. You have Wi-Fi here, right?
With his laptop on the table, he watches an adult film while Mona Lisa looks down on him. He hurriedly grabs the sample cup to collect the sperm. At home, Danny is distressingly watching a report on a steep market downturn. He's on a phone call with his boss in India.
Hello? Danny, you still there? Yeah. Anyways, I'll keep you updated regarding Arthur Manning.
Actually, well, the reason I called today, we need to schedule a video conference on Tuesday.
Okay, well then send me a reminder on Tuesday.
You didn't hear this from me. There have been some changes. We're shutting down the California sales team.
What?
I'm sorry, Danny.
They're getting rid of us? I just secured that big Century City account for the company.
Bob just called me this morning. It was not my decision. I actually tried telling Bob that we really needed you.
Thanks, Raj. Really appreciate it. It's just... It's really, really bad timing.
I know. We're getting a lot of business directly from the firms. They outsource everything to India now. Telecommunications, graphic designs, babies.
Babies?
Yeah, even babies.
Danny's head picks up excitedly. As Tate drives Danny to the airport, there's an unusually heavy silence between them.
Have a great trip.
Danny smiles softly at him. His plane takes off from LAX. Danny is now in a taxi in Mumbai with his mother.
It's not what you're thinking, okay?
Then what are you talking about?
I plan to find an egg donor in California, create an embryo with my sperm and her egg.
Whose egg?
I'm still looking. Then transfer the embryo to a surrogate here in India. Kind of like renting her womb for 9 months. It's much cheaper here.
Cheaper?
Yes, it'll cost 10 times more in the US.
Then the quality must be lousy. You get what you pay for. It's the most important decision of your life. You want to save a few bucks? You have a job. You have money. Why are we here in India? What if something goes wrong?
Nothing's gonna go wrong. Why are you so negative? We haven't even visited the clinic yet.
In Los Angeles, Tate is out on a run, but he comes to a halt with a conflicted look on his face. Inside the clinic in Mumbai, a doctor is showing Danny and Mrs. Lee various surrogate mothers.
This is Priya.
She's carrying a baby from Italy. That's Madhavi. She's carrying a baby from England. And that's Anita. She has a baby from Zimbabwe.
Danny looks around approvingly, while Mrs. Lee seems dissatisfied. In the doctor's office,
All of our surrogate mothers are very humble, very sincere, religious, and compassionate. We are committed to what we do. We take very good care of them to ensure that our clients will be happy with their babies.
Danny is nodding along to her words, while Mrs. Lee looks completely unconvinced
Mom.
and stands up, walking out in a huff. She sneaks outside around the clinic and looks through a gap in the curtains of a room. She watches as a group of pregnant women get in a fist fight with the staff. She steps back, frightened, as one of the women comes at her window. The curtains are quickly pulled shut by a nurse. In Los Angeles, a lonely Tate at a nightclub catches the eye of a male bartender. Sitting on a hotel room bed later on, a shirtless man holds a clothed Tate by the shoulder. Tate tells him,
I'm sorry,
Looking down ashamed, he walks out of the room. Back in India,
Why couldn't you hire a surrogate in LA? I could fly over to take care of her. You could keep an eye on her.
It doesn't work like that in the US. We can't tell them what to do. What if she goes out drinking and partying while carrying my baby?
如果她怀了我的孩子，还一天到晚跑出去玩，酒吧喝酒 ，My God，那怎么办？
Here, the surrogates live in the clinic. They take very good care of them. It's perfect.
A lot could go wrong during pregnancy.
Ma, they're professionals here. Let them do their job, okay?
You're intentionally trying to keep me out of it.
Mrs. Lee walks away and sits down irritated. Danny walks over to his mother, takes a seat next to her with a questioning look in his eyes.
If you weren't gay, it wouldn't be this complicated. You would have a normal family. I would be a grandmother by now.
Danny is now offended.
What is a normal family?
A normal family means a man and a woman. Get married and have kids.
I'm gay, okay? This is my normal, okay?
这是我的正常 ，OK？
This is the way I am and nothing's going to change it.
Nodding sadly, Mrs. Lee adds,
I know you are gay. I know.
now with a look of deep-seated pain.
I know you are gay.
Danny shakes his head in anger.
What kind of family would you have? What would people think? What would your child's friends say? You are being incredibly selfish.
Danny struggles to withdraw from his fury.
I don't care what others think. What matters is that I love my child.
Now looking directly at her.
Give them the best family. Prepare them for the
有
world.
耐心的教导她如何去面对这个世界，
That's what's
这才
important.
是最重要的，妈妈。
She storms off, and he watches her leave. Danny's plane lands back in Los Angeles. At her home in Taipei, Mrs. Lee deliberately ignores a phone call from Danny. As her maid Mickey goes to get it, Mrs. Lee calls out,
Don't answer it.
Mickey looks puzzled, and Mrs. Lee's turned face shows a bitter expression. In LA, Danny irritatedly dials a different number. In Taipei, Mrs. Lee's cell phone begins ringing. Knowing that Mickey is watching her, Mrs. Lee grows more sullen as she ignores this call as well. Danny then meets with his fertility doctor.
Yeah, it's surprisingly low.
How is that possible? I'm not overweight. I eat healthy, I exercise regularly.
Psychological or relationship problems can contribute to infertility. Emotional stress can interfere with hormone GnRH and reduce sperm count as well.
Mrs. Lee lies in bed having her arm massaged by Dr. Lin.
You need to rest your arm. Leave all the house chores to Mickey.
Okay.
Mickey walks in carrying a box of cherries.
You found them.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
Mickey, the box on the desk has presents for Daisy and Lily. After the post office, take the afternoon off. 2-day weekend.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
Taking a gift wrap box off the top of a dresser as she leaves.
Cherries. Are they expensive?
She likes them.
They are for her? You spoil her. Why are you so lenient? Let her take Saturday off. You have to keep an eye on them.
She's a foreign worker, not a criminal.
No, she'll get lazy. Work quality will go down. She'll start giving you attitude. Bad idea.
Okay.
Tate carries a bouquet into the Lin's house, the couple that cared for him during his parents' absence. He's greeted by Mr. Lin's granddaughter, Julie.
Hi, Tate. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, how did your science project go?
We loved it.
Good.
Thank you. Where's Danny?
He couldn't make it today. Hey, good to see you. Happy Mother's Day.
He greets her parents.
Oh, these are for you. So where's Grandpa?
Tate and Mr. Lin hug warmly.
Good to see you.
Tate stands in the kitchen and Mr. Lin reaches in the refrigerator.
So yeah, it's just too painful to see each other right now. So we decided not to for a while.
Sounds like you can use a beer.
Handing him one.
Thank you.
No, Sarah broke up with me once.
No.
Yes, as soon as she did, she realized she was still in love with me.
They gesture to the air.
Yes, Sarah, we're talking about you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Come, I want to show you something.
Mr. Lin puts his arm around Tate's shoulder and leads him to the living room.
You're so good with Julie. She really looks up to you. You know that, right?
There's a table featuring photos of Tate and Julie.
Ta-da!
What is this?
Oh, she painted this for your birthday. Not quite finished yet, but we get the preview.
It pictures them on a roller coaster. Mr. Lin then looks at Tate seriously.
The most terrifying moment of your life. When you take that first step into the unknown. For what?
Tate turns to affectionately watch Julie carefully setting the table.
For something miraculous.
At lunch, Tate playfully grabs a strawberry from Julie's fork.
Julie, would you like to make a toast?
She lifts her cup.
Happy Mother's Day.
Cheers.
They all clink glasses over the table. Danny sits softly playing the piano in his house. He gazes at a photo of Tate and him together, putting his hand to it with an emotional expression. He picks up his phone and types out, "I miss you," in a text to Tate. But he then wavers and doesn't press send. He stands up from the piano and walks out the glass back door. Painting alone at an easel in his house, Tate checks his phone for messages, but he finds none from Danny. Danny browses an LGBT adoption website from his living room. His cursor lands on the Where to Start link. In Taipei, Mrs. Lee reclines on her bed, holding a glass pomegranate in her hands with a distressed expression. Mickey brings in a cup of tea and sits on the bed as Mrs. Lee wipes her eyes.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, thank you.
Mickey smiles and Mrs. Lee straightens herself.
Did your twins receive the presents?
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
So sorry to take you away from your daughters. I'm sure you miss them very much.
They both want to be doctors when they grow up.
Really?
Mickey nods. Mrs. Lee sighs and sits up.
They grow up so quickly, but they never become what you expect.
You should call Danny. He called again today. He misses you. I'm sure you miss him too.
She gets up and turns away.
You should have seen the picture of the girl they want to adopt.
What? Adopt what?
Dr. Lin uses a pestle to grind a batch of fertility spices as Mrs. Lee looks on, resigned.
No problem, I'll take care of it.
In Los Angeles, Danny receives a package at his door. He opens the fragile Mark's box to find the spice containers his mom sent. He grins to himself knowingly and calls Mickey after.
She freaked out when you mentioned adoption?
Of course. She won her own grandchild. It was so funny.
Thank you, Mickey.
You're welcome.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Why did you decide to become a single mom?
I got pregnant, but my boyfriend didn't want the baby.
Her face serious.
He wanted me to get rid of it. I couldn't. When he found out I had twins, he left.
It must be difficult raising kids alone. You're working in Taipei so far away from your daughters. Who's taking care of them?
My mom in Bali. Keeping my babies was the best decision I ever made. At first I wasn't sure. But one day I felt a kick. When they arrived, it was the happiest moment in my life.
His eyes widen.
She's 25. The twin girls are 5.
That's the perfect age for a surrogate, and she's given birth before.
We wouldn't have to hire a complete stranger. She could live at home in Taipei. I could take care of her.
No, I don't want to be a mother again.
Mickey looks glum.
No, not the mother. We just need you to carry the baby.
Her expression opens.
I promise I'll take very good care of you. After the baby's born, you can go home and be with your daughters. They can go to the best medical school. You help me, I help you.
Mrs. Lee, why does Danny need me? He's handsome and successful.
He's different.
He doesn't want to get married?
Mrs. Lee nods hesitantly.
He doesn't like girls. He's gay.
I knew it.
I thought so. I don't want anyone to know. Our secret, okay?
Mickey shakes her head, suddenly frightened.
Mickey, please say yes. I beg you. Please, please.
Later, Mickey is listening to a friend's desperate phone call.
Hello, Atu. Listen to Ma. You can't do drugs. You hear me? You cannot do drugs.
She's crying and trying to call again.
Adu, drugs will destroy you. Listen to Ma, please. Promise me you won't do drugs. Sweetheart, drugs will kill you.
Watching her sympathetically, Mickey takes a long, serious look at a photo of her children and contemplates Mrs. Lee's offer. Danny is video chatting with his mother, discussing an egg donor candidate.
Her father's a doctor, mother an accountant.
She's from a good family. A swimmer? Most importantly, she's got curly hair like me. Good.
Danny walks down a supermarket aisle with Takesha, who has crazy hair and is wearing big pink sunglasses. They see a smiling Tate walking towards them. Danny runs to him and is lifted in his embrace.
I'm in. I miss you so much.
Takesha comes over and joyfully hugs them together.
Watch with the hair, watch with the hair.
What are you wearing?
At her office in Taipei, Dr. Lin is applying cream to Mrs. Lee's arm when Mrs. Lee's baby cry ringtone goes off.
Shoot, almost forgot.
She runs through the lobby to answer it.
Where are you? It's so loud.
Let me find a more private place.
She heads to the bathroom. At the cashier line, Takesha aggressively cuts in front of a young Asian girl. The girl's mother is the favored egg donor.
Hey! I was here first.
Shut up.
Mom!
What's the matter, sweetie?
She cut in front of me.
What? You little liar.
Mrs. Lee watches the exchange through Danny's phone camera.
Wait a minute. First of all, you're welcome to go in front of us. You only have a few items. Second of all, don't call my daughter a liar. She doesn't lie.
Well, she's lying now.
Actually, ma'am, she's right. You cut right in front of her.
Oh my God, mind your business, you little bitch.
Tate spins around
I
laughing.
don't appreciate you accusing my daughter of lying and using such foul language in front of my child.
You know what? I don't have
She
to
throws
put up
down
with
a bunch
this.
of bananas and storms off. After, Danny asks his mom,
Wasn't she great?
She's awesome.
The mother was very calm, very polite, and reasonable.
Right. She was firm and strong.
She's obviously a wonderful mother.
Her daughter's fabulous too. Very smart.
Which egg donor do you prefer? This one or the girl from San Diego?
He shows her a blonde candidate.
I like both. Maybe the San Diego one a bit more. She's very tall. Might be better for your kid.
Good point. I'll set up a meeting.
Any word from the doctor?
We need to wait on egg retrieval until I have enough healthy sperm.
Have you been taking Dr. Lin's herbs regularly? Are you running out?
You just sent me another batch last week. You already forgot?
Don't masturbate so much then. You'll stroke off all your good sperm. Save some for the baby.
Stroke of good sperm? What?
Mrs. Lee is startled by Dr. Lin waiting in the bathroom. The sun sets over Los Angeles as Danny joins Tate in the shower, and they make love. They lie in bed afterwards, together, Danny's head resting peacefully on Tate's chest.
I remember that morning vividly. We came home. The phone was ringing, non-stop. Mom picked up the phone. She was crying. Sobbing uncontrollably. There was an accident.
Your mother's amazing. You know that?
Danny lifts his head to look into Tate's eyes.
She was a mother and a father.
I like your mom. She reminds me of Mrs. Lin.
Tate gently strokes his face.
you everything. Family. I never had that.
They begin kissing passionately. And Tate rolls to lay on top of Danny. In Taipei, Mrs. Lee and Mickey visit a doctor.
You're a healthy young lady. Thank you.
What about the embryo transfer?
I can't do the embryo transfer. I could lose my license.
Lose your license?
Later, Mrs. Lee and Mickey worriedly watch a news program of people in Taiwan being arrested for attempting embryo transfer. Mickey turns to Mrs. Lee, terrified.
Are we breaking the law?
The authorities are strict. We have to be very careful. It could get very complicated.
Mrs. Lee, maybe I shouldn't...
Mrs. Lee grabs onto her hand.
Mickey, listen to me. Don't be afraid. I promise you, I won't let anything go wrong. Please, trust me.
Mickey shakes her head, completely afraid. Danny and Tate laugh at their support group. They receive heartening news from their fertility doctor. At home in bed, Danny lifts a book titled Gay Dads off of sleeping Tate's chest and places it on the nightstand. He then snuggles against him. A few days later, Danny and Tate are with the blonde San Diego egg donor, helping her prep for the IVF procedure. Mrs. Lee watches on video chat as the egg donor jabs a needle in her abdomen while Danny squeamishly turns away. Together they go to the hospital, walking with her to the procedural room. Her eggs are extracted and examined under a microscope. Receiving the news, Danny tells his mother on video,
"We have 10 healthy eggs out of 18.
That's wonderful.
Congratulations, Mrs. Lee,"
says Tate into the chat.
What is he doing here?
Mrs. Lee and Mickey drive to the American Institute in Taiwan.
How long will you be in Los Angeles?
Probably 2 weeks.
Probably? I see you're working as a foreign housekeeper in Taipei.
Yes.
Has your employer approved your vacation schedule?
Yes.
It can be quite expensive to visit the U.S. How do you plan to pay for your trip?
The man seems uncertain, while Mrs. Lee looks worried sitting behind Mickey. The man writes down a hurried note.
Thank you very much.
And closes her folder. Video chatting with Danny.
We can't do the embryo transfer in Taiwan. Mickey can't enter the States. What are we gonna do?
India.
I'm so sorry. Because of the new regulation that passed last week. No single parents, no unmarried couples, no gay couples, only male and female married couples. My gay clients are having a very difficult time getting their exit visas. Too risky. I have to go.
This will keep the embryo perfectly frozen. Dr. Sukavanich is one of the best fertility doctors in Bangkok. We have a close working relationship, and rest assured that the thawing process will be perfect. Now, the liquid nitrogen will keep be careful, will keep the embryos frozen for at least 5 days. But our courier service can get it over there in 2 business days.
I'm sorry, courier?
You've got to be kidding me.
It's highly reliable.
We're not having our baby FedExed.
What if it gets lost or stolen?
Switched.
We need to do this ourselves.
At LAX, Danny with the embryo canister and Tate stare down the x-ray machine.
Excuse me. Is there a problem?
Sorry, sir. I think we're in the wrong line. This can't go through the x-ray.
TSA requires all carry-on items go through the x-ray.
I understand, sir, but we have a medical certificate from our doctor, right?
Here's all the documents from our doctor. Look, sir, this incubator contains nothing hazardous or infectious.
What? Hazardous? Infectious? What?
I'm sorry. So what he meant was...
All carry-on items must go through the x-ray scanner for security purposes.
That's not true.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. What he meant was We called TSA, and the agent told us that at the discretion of the security officer, our carry-on items could go through without getting x-rayed.
In that case, at my discretion, I need you to put your carry-on item on the conveyor belt right now and let's move it along.
Look, sir, this contains genetic materials, okay? It cannot go through the machine. The radiation can cause irreversible damage to the frozen human embryos.
Frozen human what?
Our future child.
There's liquid in the container?
Liquid nitrogen.
Yes, but we have a medical certificate.
Sir, I need you to put your luggage on the conveyor belt and step aside now.
Tate turns to comfort Danny as the TSA supervisor, a heavy-set blonde woman, is called over.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm really sorry for causing this trouble. We called TSA before we came, okay? And we got all the necessary paperwork from our doctor, and I just want to assure you that this is perfectly legitimate.
We are not trying to play any games here. We're not trying to be superheroes or sneaking explosives or hazardous materials or...
We're just trying to have a baby.
Look, here are the medical documents from our doctor. If you could just take a look at these.
She takes a signed form from Tate and examines it.
Dr. Schwartz, from West Hollywood.
Yes, he's the handsome doctor with the horrible toupee.
She walks away, unconvinced, to pick up a telephone receiver and dials the number, as Danny and Tate wait nervously.
Dr. Schwartz? Beverly, Nancy Kirkland's wife. Yeah, she's doing very well, thank you. I got a Tate Hughes and Danny Lee. Right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's all I need to know.
She turns back to them and gives them a big knowing wink. Relieved, they run through security and off to their gate. Soon afterwards, their plane takes off. Arriving in Taipei, Danny and Tate greet Mrs. Lee and Mickey as they board the plane.
Ma! Hey, Ma!
Mrs. Lee, how are you?
She turns her attention to the embryo canister.
I want to hold my grandchild.
She kisses the container as she walks off, satisfied.
This is Tate.
He takes Mickey's hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Danny and Mickey hug warmly before they all head to their seats energetically. They are partway through the flight when Danny turns to wake his mother.
I spoke with the doctor. We're transferring 2 embryos to Mickey.
2 embryos?
2 increased her chances of becoming pregnant. Mom, you could end up with 2 grandchildren.
Twins? I want a boy and a girl.
She turns to Mickey and strokes her arm. Danny, however, looks unexpectedly withdrawn as Tate slumbers away on his shoulder. Mrs. Lee, Mickey, Danny, and Tate walk the streets of Bangkok excitedly. They walk into the fertility clinic and are blown away by the high-end interior. A doctor approaches them.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sukhovanich. Are you Mr. Lee?
Yes.
How was your trip?
It's good.
Great. You want to come with me to the office?
Wow.
They walk forward with him.
It is important that before you become a surrogate, that you are aware of all the risks. In a difficult childbirth, a surrogate could lose a lot of blood and may require a blood transfusion. Sometimes we may need to remove the uterus from the mother in order to save her, and sometimes a woman may die. In those unfortunate cases, no one is responsible. Also important, the surrogate has no right to the baby. It belongs to the client.
Mickey.
Did you understand that?
She grabs onto Mickey's hand, but Mickey removes her hand from Mrs. Lee's grasp. Later, in the lobby, Mickey contemplates gloomily. When Danny moves to comfort her, his mother holds him back, cautiously. Even Tate's excitement is debased upon seeing Mickey's state. As the sun sets over Bangkok, the four of them sit in the airport lounge in silence. On the plane, the safety announcements are playing when a change comes over Mickey's face.
What?
Mickey, what?
She pulls Mrs. Lee from the seat as Danny and Tate follow an excited realization. Back at the clinic, the embryos are removed from the canister and transferred to Mickey. Afterwards in the lobby, Mrs. Lee calls.
Danny, Mickey.
Come say a prayer.
They fold their hands in prayer as Mrs. Lee speaks.
Compassionate Buddha, please bless Mickey and protect her from harm. Grant my grandchildren a safe journey into the world. Bless Danny as he becomes a devoted father. For the Lee family.
Danny beckons Tate over to the altar, and Tate approaches with tentative excitement. Seeing him, Mrs. Lee drops her hands and pulls away. Mickey.
Let's go.
Disheartened, Danny and Tate watch them leave.
Everything looks great. She's pregnant.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Please take good care.
Thank you. Yeah.
Danny and Tate hug and then kiss, and Mrs. Lee's joyful expression turns to shame. She lets out a nervous laugh and leaves, as Danny and Tate look hurt once again. Mrs. Lee, Mickey, Danny, and Tate land back in Taipei. Later, Danny and Tate celebrate Mrs. Lee's birthday at a meal with her and her friends, Auntie Chang and Dr. Lin. Tate passes a dish to Mrs. Lee and she smiles appreciatively.
Wow, he's thoughtful.
Happy birthday!
Danny brings in a lit cake.
Happy birthday!
He places it next to his mother.
Make a wish.
She closes her eyes for a moment, while Tate exchanges a glance with Danny. Mrs. Lee blows out her candles. Tate walks over to serve the cake, but Mrs. Lee stops him.
It's okay. I do by myself. Do you like Taiwan?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Good. Taiwan is a very good place. Good culture, good people. Yeah. What do you do? Are you married? Yeah.
Actually, Danny and I are...
Tate. Thank you for coming to my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tate walks away with a look of deep pain.
Danny, you're such a good son. Came all the way back to Taipei for your mom's birthday.
Of course.
When are you getting married? Do you have a girlfriend?
He's too busy, no time for dating.
I'm sure he's very picky. No matter how busy you are, you still need to get married. Do you know any girls to introduce to Danny?
Tate glares at Danny and then abruptly leaves the table.
Did I say something wrong? He's probably going to a restaurant.
Danny stares at his mother stonily, offended by her lies. On the plane back to Los Angeles, Danny tries to hold Tate's hand. However, Tate pulls away instead. He continues to look off distantly, while Danny watches him achingly. In Taipei, Mrs. Lee is serving Mickey a meal. She looks at Mickey's plate.
You didn't finish it.
I'm full.
You have to finish it. Here's another bowl.
She burns her hand while putting it down, nearly dropping it. Danny's interviewing for a new job. Mrs. Lee is vigorously cleaning the bathroom. Danny and Tate cheer as Julie blows out candles on a birthday cake. Out shopping, Mrs. Lee is startled by seeing Dr. Lin down the sidewalk. She quickly hides around the corner to avoid her. At Julie's party, Danny shows her ultrasounds of his baby, while Mr. Lin hugs Tate in congratulations. Mrs. Lee shows Mickey's progression on video chat.
Danny, you want to see your cute baby?
Baby is so mischievous, kicks me every day.
Danny and Tate laugh while eating ice cream in bed. Later, Mrs. Lee prays enthusiastically. In Los Angeles, Danny and Tate happily stuff toys into their suitcase and hug before they happily zip it shut. Having arrived in Taipei,
Mickey, have some fruit.
Danny hands her a fork of pineapple as Tate pours tea for her. Mickey looks up at the two of them curiously. Dr. Lin, exiting a subway station with Auntie Chiang, exclaims,
Wait, aren't those songs for Danny? Oops, getting old and forgetful. Let's go.
Mickey waddles into the kitchen of Mrs. Lee's house for a cup of tea. She suddenly cringes in pain while holding her baby bump. Mrs. Lee opens the door to Dr. Lin and Auntie Chiang.
What? You shouldn't have come by without calling.
She runs after them worriedly.
Auntie Chen, Dr. Ling, how are you?
Danny, these songs are for you.
Wow, come on in.
They are your favorite with dried turnips.
I was just going out. Let's get some dim sum, my treat.
We just had lunch, too full.
Coffee then, Starbucks. I have VIP coupons.
Mickey, thank you.
To her, bringing in a tray of tea. She walks away holding her back.
How could you allow this?
What are you talking about?
She has a boyfriend in Taiwan? You can't let her get pregnant while working in Taiwan.
Mickey, re-entering, glares at them and angrily puts down her cup.
Hey, Mickey!
My God, full of attitude, I told you. You should fire her.
Stop! It's not what you think. Mickey's pregnant because...
Danny!
Danny looks up at her incredulously.
You have to go now.
Mrs. Lee tells her friends.
You don't want that rush hour train. Too crowded. Let's go.
She pulls them up and begins walking them out as Tate emerges from a hallway.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Your Danny's friend from LA, Tate, right?
Mrs. Lee continues to hurry them out.
What's wrong with you today?
Nothing. Bye-bye.
In the living room, Danny shakes his head in disbelief. He picks up the tea tray and glowers at his mother as he walks to the kitchen.
Calm down.
He slams down the tray.
Auntie Chang's Zongzi. Want one?
He turns to her in disgust.
Do we embarrass you? Why are you so afraid of people knowing about us? Why hide it like a shameful secret?
She struggles for words.
We don't have to broadcast to the entire world.
We aren't thieves or criminals, and we haven't done anything unethical. Why are you so ashamed of us?
Ashamed? I'm not ashamed.
Mickey sacrificed so much for us. How could you humiliate her in front of your friends?
I would never do that.
What's going to happen when the baby comes? Are you going to hide the fact that I am her gay father forever? I'm going to be a father soon. I don't want anyone gossiping behind my back. And I don't want to raise my child in our world of pretense and lies. What about Tate?
She stares back at him in shock.
How can you talk to your mother like that? breaking my heart.
And you are suffocating me. If you can't proudly acknowledge your grandchild, won't openly accept me and Tate for who we are, then you will have no place in our lives.
How can you be so cruel?
She slaps his face. Suddenly, they both turn towards Mickey's cries. Finding her in the hallway, they have to hold her up as Tate comes running. They all rush out, knocking over a plate of pomegranates. One is stomped, and its seeds are squashed into the floor. Mickey's gurney careens through the hospital, and she cries out in pain. The doctor in the room warns.
She's losing a lot of blood. Blood transfusion immediately.
Outside, Danny and Tate anxiously wait in the hallway. As the doctor alerts her team,
The umbilical cord is choking the baby. Prepare for cesarean delivery.
a tray of instruments is wheeled over. In the hallway, Mrs. Lee frantically fingers her prayer beads. An anesthesia mask is placed on Mickey. Outside, Danny clutches his head as, seated down the hall away from them, Mrs. Lee continues to pray. Suddenly, the beads slip from her grip and fall to the floor. She slowly puts her hand up to her mouth. Finally, the baby, swaddled in pink, is handed by a nurse to Danny and Tate. They hold her adoringly as Danny gently kisses her head. As he turns to kiss Tate, Mrs. Lee emerges behind them, but stays there, watching them in pain. Later at home, in Taipei, Danny and Tate lay propped in bed, cuddling their daughter, gently stroking her face. Mrs. Lee walks in, clearly desiring to hold her grandchild, but she's halted by a look from Danny. He gets up to leave, and Mrs. Lee is faced with joining Tate alone with the baby. She hesitates for a moment, as Tate looks up at her invitingly. Ultimately, she walks out. Doing dishes in the kitchen after, Tate confronts Danny.
You haven't given her a chance. Look, she may fail you, okay? She may reject you, she may reject me, but you have to give her the chance to do it. That's not fair. That is not fair. The way you treated her in there, that is not fair. She is trying. You can see it. She is struggling, and you're not even bothering.
Danny continues washing silently.
I mean, tell me one good reason that you expect her to treat me like the father of our child when she has no idea.
Later, they walk down a street somberly with the stroller. At dinner, nobody speaks. And afterwards, Danny, alone in his room, holds his head, distressing over how to deal with his mother. The following day, Danny sits solemnly across from his mother in their living room.
Mom.
I'm sorry.
They both stare at the floor.
I'm sorry for saying those hurtful things to you.
He looks at her, and she gradually raises her eyes to meet his.
At first, I intended to proceed with the baby plans on my own. I didn't share them with you because I didn't think you would care. Then we started working together.
He begins to smile.
We traveled the world. You were very supportive of me. So looking forward to a grandchild.
Her face starts to turn hopeful.
You were so happy and excited. And for the first time, I felt you were genuinely interested in my life, Ma.
His expression becomes emotional.
I so desperately needed your affection. And even more, I needed you to be proud of me.
He tightly grips the glass pomegranate in his hands.
That's why I've kept the secret from you the whole time.
She then looks questioningly.
The Asian egg donor you liked, Tate hired her. We wanted to make sure my sperm was healthy enough for the baby. So we created 2 sets of embryos with 2 different egg donors. We selected the 2 most developed embryos, one from Tate, one from me, then transferred them to Mickey.
Mrs. Lee is distraught.
I kept this from you because I knew how much you wanted your own grandchild. I knew how devastated you would be. I know this is not the family you have envisioned.
She begins to cry.
And the baby may not be mine, but this is my life. I need to make my own choices. Be honest with myself.
Sweetie?
Tate enters the room with their daughter. Mrs. Lee looks at them in anguish.
Ma, I love Tate.
Now standing next to him.
We're committed to our daughter. We don't care who the real father is, because we are a family, blood or not.
In her room afterwards, a weeping Mrs. Lee futilely wipes her eyes and face of tears with a handkerchief, watching herself in the mirror. She looks down at a youthful photo of her with her husband and takes it into her hands.
Please tell me. What should I do?
She searches the photo for an answer, steeped in quiet deliberation. A white cake sits on a table with a baby figurine on top. Mickey, Mrs. Lee, Danny, and Tate stand uncomfortably at the entrance to the baby banquet, greeting guests. Dr. Lin and Auntie Chang arrive.
Congratulations, Danny and Minky. Mrs. Lee, you've waited long enough. Grandma at last!
Mickey looks downward, uneasily, and then suddenly walks away. Takesha appears in a fancy jacket.
Is that her? Congratulations, I'm so happy for you.
Good to see you.
I'm happy for you, bro.
She hugs Tate, who then takes the baby, so Danny can walk Takesha into the dining room.
Okay, let's go.
Mrs. Lee faces Tate with the baby once again, and he waits for her to speak, but she stays silent. After a moment, he too just walks past her, following Danny and Takesha. Takesha talks with Dr. Lin.
After Taipei, I'm going to...
And Tate brings the baby over to Danny. Mickey sits alone, stone-faced at a table, and then she gets up to leave. She passes Mrs. Lee, who abruptly grabs her shoulders and turns her to face toward her. Gently reaching to take her hand, Mrs. Lee leads Mickey back into the room and sits her down at a table with Dr. Lin, Auntie Chang, Gary, and Cindy. Mrs. Lee slowly takes a seat next to Mickey as the table remains awkwardly silent. Noticing this, Mrs. Lee sighs deeply. Stands up and walks around the table to face Danny, Mickey, and Tate.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to my granddaughter's banquet. People say there are 3 major joys in life. There are 3 people I want to thank today. Mickey.
She lifts her head.
Thank you for the incredibly generous gift. The Lee family will be grateful to you. Forever. Danny. My son. He's very courageous. He always does what he believes is right, despite what others might think. I know you love me. You cared and didn't want to hurt me. And you love Tate. Love him so deeply. I understand. Because I've loved once. I am proud of you.
Danny struggles to hold back tears.
You've bravely taken your first step. Step towards a bright future. Tate, thank you. Thank you for taking care of Danny and my granddaughter. I've always prayed for Danny to be a devoted father, but I've worried that he couldn't do it alone. Now he has you. I'm comforted. Comforted that little Victoria will have 2 devoted fathers.
Tate smiles gratefully.
You understand my Chinese?
I understand.
Wonderful. All right, everyone enjoy. Enjoy.
Everyone laughs and claps as Tate and Danny whisper to each other. Dr. Lin asks,
When are you inviting us to your wedding banquet? We've been waiting for a long time. When you two get married, we'll definitely make a trip out to California.
Danny and Tate crack up.
Yes, yes, yes.
Your daughter is so cute.
Thank you.
Cheers!
Takesha stands and raises her glass.
Congratulations!
Mickey, Mrs. Lee, Danny, and Tate are walking through the airport together. As Mickey turns to face the others,
It's time for me to go.
Mama.
she hugs Mrs. Lee.
Thank you. Please send my love to Daisy and Lily.
Mickey walks over to Danny and hugs him as well.
Thank you,
he says sincerely. Finally, she walks over to Tate next, and she begins to break down in his arms. She bends down to kiss Victoria in her stroller, and then steps back. She bows to all three before she walks away. Danny then faces his mother.
Ma, it's time for us to go.
She nods and bends down slowly to kiss Victoria as well.
Sweetheart, listen to your daddies, okay?
She looks up at Tate and smiles wildly before hugging him warmly.
Thank you.
Tate takes the luggage and pushes the stroller forward. Now alone, Danny and Mrs. Lee face each other. They hug tightly, and Mrs. Lee instructs him,
Don't forget to call when you get to Los Angeles.
He nods against her shoulder.
Please take good care of yourself.
I will.
She smiles. They hold each other's hands for a moment, but then let go, and wave as Danny walks away. Mrs. Lee's smile turns to affectionate heartache as Danny leaves her. He joins Tate.
Hey. You okay?
I'm good. Just happy. I'm so happy.
They hug tightly.
Hey, we have a daughter.
I have a daughter.
They lean their heads against each other, and then Danny squats down to see Victoria sleeping. The two of them then walk forward with the stroller across the departure hall. Finally, a family. Time passes up to the day of Danny and Tate's wedding. Victoria toddles in front of them, down the aisle, as purple flower petals drift like snowflakes through the air. Danny and Tate watch her fondly as she totters forward and is scooped up by Mrs. Lee, with Mickey beside her. The married couple, finely clad in matching tuxedos with silver bow ties, continue down the aisle, holding hands, amazed at the growing flurry of petals thrown by their guests. Takesha closes this crowd in a circle around them as they're showered with cheers and love. Overjoyed, Danny and Tate look across at Mrs. Lee carrying their daughter. She points them out to Victoria and waves her tiny hand. Danny and Tate melt into the warmest expressions and peer at them adoringly.
The audio description of Baby Steps has finished. Audio description crew: Script Pooja Agarwal, Cyrus Khandalavala. Dubbing Pooja Agarwal, Cyrus Khandalavala, Stacy Chiang, Evan Rowe, Joey Ken, and Russ Kan. Editing Ming Ho. Appreciation goes to Help of Vision Association for providing audio description services, fighting for information equal right.